We're getting ready for another round of this. Maybe not as bad.
Round two. Yeah, it will not be as cold, number one, or as snowy and icy, number two. But any other time, this would be a pretty big deal, the fact that we're talking about any ice at all this week. More on the developing winter storm in a moment. Let's enjoy what we have right now, and that is a clear sky. It is beautiful. It is not quite as nice as it was yesterday in terms of temperatures, but still acceptable. 55 degrees is the current reading under a clear sky. This is our evening planning forecast, and we expect the temperature by 8 o'clock to fall pretty quickly because the sun will be down and the air's pretty dry out there, down into the mid-40s or close to it, and then at 10 o'clock down to 40, maybe already into the 30s in some locations. Around the area now, 51 degrees in Burnet, it's 54 in Llano, mid-50s in the metro area, and low to mid-50s in our eastern counties. Warm spot down in Lockhart at 58. 55 and clear in the city. At ABIA, it is clear and 56 degrees. 22 degree dew points is fairly dry. Variable winds at 6 miles per hour, both in town and at the airport. Sunset at 6:13 tonight. Mold count today was low and Cedar low. Our recent bad weather at least has improved the pollen count a little bit, but with now 2 or 3 days of sunshine and more wind over the last 24 hours, the counts might be a little bit higher tomorrow. Temperatures around the state. Colder to the north, 48 up in Dallas, 38 degrees in Amarillo, 57 over in Houston, though not looking too bad, 58 in San Antonio, 62 degrees in Corpus Christi. And as you can see, skies finally clear across the whole state at this hour. A chance to thaw here, but we are watching a developing winter storm we referenced a few minutes ago up here over the northern Rocky Mountains. You can see the snow already flying with it all the way out into Nebraska. And as soon as that low begins to pull a little bit more to the southeast, this cold Arctic air is going to plunge south right down here into Texas, and look at there, it's below zero again up there in the northern plains. Well, let's take you to it. Our supercomputer future weather model performed very, very well last week in bringing us the details on the approaching ice storm about midweek. This is how we have it as we approach another one. Clouds thickening up pretty quickly as we go through the afternoon and into the evening tomorrow. And then pretty quickly overnight, moistening up enough that maybe even in the evening we begin to see patchy light rain in our eastern counties. But then overnight, we begin to see some fairly widespread but mainly light rain and liquid, still liquid, at 2 o'clock in the morning because we're not yet below freezing. The front blows in here about the time that we begin to see some freezing precipitation already fall in the northern hill country. This is rush hour Wednesday morning. Should still be liquid here in the metro area. Now, that's when the front comes in. Temperature quickly falls to below freezing, but then notice our computer model kind of lifts the freezing precipitation up and away from us. So it's a matter of timing with this thing. We could get some freezing precipitation in the metro area. The most likely areas, though, are north of us and then back over the hill country. We're not talking about much, but it doesn't take much. You know, we had less than 1/10 of an inch of ice that got a little snow on it last week that caused all of our headache. And then as we go through the day Wednesday, that system is out of here very, very quickly. So it's not going to be too bad, but in some areas it has the potential to be a little icy. And it is going to be cold, and nobody's going to like that, or not many of us anyway. Here are the lows tonight. We'll fall back to right at freezing or below. Highs tomorrow, a little bit above today. Then the cold front arrives late tomorrow night, early Wednesday morning. Tonight we fall to 32. Skies clear tomorrow. As we go through the day, the clouds begin to thicken up. Winds go southerly, so it'll feel a little better tomorrow. But then the first thing Wednesday morning, temperature starts dropping as that front blows in. Gusty north winds. Notice we're calling for some freezing rain, maybe a little patchy sleet mixed in, but briefly. It should be in and out of here. We have a cold day. On Thursday, we'll have to weather. And then as we move into Friday, and especially as we head toward the weekend, we'll begin to see a return to some nicer weather.